Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, our next performer can be found on Reverb Nation. Look him up by name. He's going to be in the top 50 stand-up comics on Reverb Nation right now. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a great big Secret Society hand for JustinFREAKIN Mullins.
I didn't know he was doing music for me. My bad. I would have waited a little bit longer to come out. Good evening! I'm just gonna come right out and say it before you guys feel awkward halfway through my set. My shit is for an audience of a higher intellect. So if you guys don't laugh, I know my jokes went over your head. I get a lot of death stares from Asians, and I don't know why. Is there something about me that's offensive to their culture? Is it my Fu Manchu? And I know a few of them, so anytime I see one out at the store or when I'm out and about, I have to wave at all of them just in case. I'm not saying all Asians look alike, just 67% of them. But 67% of any race looks alike. 67% of black people look alike. 67% of white people look alike. I cannot tell two Icelandic men apart. Have you guys heard about the group of Christians that any time a Muslim wants to build a mosque, they go and they bury a pig and it makes the ground unsacred, and then the Muslims won't build the mosque there? It's a true thing. It gave me the idea that from now on, anytime a Christian wants to build a church, I'm going to bury a gay. Judging from the amount of likes I get on Facebook, all but 6 people have me blocked. I think I'm going to just start texting those 6 people my random thoughts. Speaking of Facebook, I saw something on there the other day. It was called Christian Pirate Radio. It tripped me out. I was like, Christian Pirate Radio? What the hell is that? Instead of clicking on it to find out what it was, though, I decided it was more fun to come up with my own ideas about it. Like maybe their catchphrase is "Arg men." Perhaps instead of making you walk the plank, they nail you to it. I recently reread the Bible and I've come to the conclusion that it must be true. You can't make bullshit like that up. By the way, I am not family friendly at all, in case you guys hadn't noticed already. But I have these weird ideas about religion, but I don't believe in evolution anymore. And the reason why is because the older I get hair in places that I've never had it, like here on the under part of my arm. I'm devolving. I'm turning back into a monkey. Don't believe me? Look at this shit. Some people have a happy trail. I have a happy fucking forest. Had a friend in high school that used to call me the ass bro, so you can imagine what it looks like back here. And I was really self-conscious about my hairy ass when I was in high school. My freshman year, I thought that I was going to get laid at any time, and I didn't get laid my freshman year of college. The first time, not the second time. But my freshman year of high school, I thought that it was like going to happen imminently. And I was really self-conscious about my hairy ass, so one weekend when I thought I had a particularly good shot at getting laid, I decided to nair my ass. It was a bad decision. That is the worst pain I have ever felt in my life. Not only did it take all the hair off, it also took about 5 layers of skin. That's the worst pain I've ever felt. I felt the second worst pain I've ever felt just a couple of weeks ago when a spider bit me on the nutsack. So that's my frame of reference on pain. I've never passed a kidney stone, never had a baby, never broke a bone. My frame of reference is nailing my ass, spider biting me on the nutsack. God, it hurt. It felt like somebody was taking scissors to my nuts. So after I nailed my ass, I had to go to my brother's wedding the next day. I'm trying to get comfortable in the pew and I can't because it feels like my ass is on fire. And I'm pretty sure there was somebody there in the crowd that was like, that dude just took his first dick. And I thought I was a stand-up comedian in high school, so I went and I did this bit from all my classmates, much like I'm doing for you guys, and they made fun of me relentlessly. honestly for it. Like, oh, there's Justin, he's got it there in his ass. Ha 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 ha. So as you guys might be able to surmise, my 15-year-old self was incredibly sexually frustrated. I wish I could go back to him and let him know, dude, it's all okay. You are going to get to fuck so many hot 18 and 19-year-olds, it's not even funny. You just have to wait until you're 30 and you meet girls with daddy issues. I can't really see out there, but I'm betting that hit a little too close to home for some of you. And if Elliot Rogers had had that piece of advice, none of that shit would have happened. That dude shut up the place because he couldn't get laid. He was driving a Beamer. Like, dude, you just didn't have the right wingman. Come and pick me up. I will get you laid. No problem. In your Beamer. While I'm on the subject, I'm proud to be an American. I am proud to live in a country where it is easier to buy a gun than it is Sudafed. Oh shit, I might not want to do these jokes. I'm in a bar in Tennessee. You fuckers can carry. No, Second Amendment, like nuts. Like trick me out, like the gun nuts. They'll come up to you, they'll be like, you outlaw guns, only outlaws will have guns. I'm like, shit! Apply that logic to drug laws. All you're doing is making me an outlaw, and there are good, decent, hardworking people out there that need some drugs. Yeah! And then they'll look at you, you can't create a national registry of gun owners. I'm like, shit, you go and buy cough medicine, you have to sign your name, and you go into a national database. What's the fucking difference? But then the really hardcore ones will come up to you, and they're like, well, you can't make any laws about my guns because it's in the Second Amendment. I'm always like, hillbilly, have you read the Second Amendment? The first two words are well regulated. Inevitably, somebody always comes out of the show and is like, no, it's not, it's a well. Like, damn it, you grammar Nazi, I just left off an article. If I had a gun right now, I'd shoot you in the foot. Sorry about that. Got a little carried away there. I asked my best friend one time if he would think any less of me if I fucked a mildly retarded girl. He said, no, I'd respect you. I had one of my gal pals told me that a little 18-year-old kid had asked her for a tit pic, and he had Asperger's. And I was like, send him one, you know? It's like giving to charity. Kid's probably never seen a tit pic. Besides, yours aren't that spectacular. Shut up. I told her that joke before I ever did it on stage, and after I did it, she showed me her tits, and I had to apologize. But I said, I'm keeping the joke because it's funny. I was going to get up here and make a joke about how I need to quit having so much promiscuous sex with strangers. But then I realized there might be a promiscuous stranger in the audience that might want to have sex with me after the show, so I'm not going to do that joke. I prefer lifestyle condoms to Trojans. And the reason why is the name, Trojan. It implies that you're covered, but they're going to sneak your men in through the gate, and that's the last thing I want.
Yes!
This woman told me she'd pray for me the other day, and I was like, really? You're going to pray for me? If you're going to remember my name to yourself, at least do it while you're masturbating. That way one of us gets something out of it. Woo! See what I said? I go over some people's heads. I got this new thing I've been doing. I'm gonna try it out on you guys here tonight. I was over at the next door last week. I didn't get a chance to do it because I had a heckler and I had to put her in her place. By the way, if you ever heckle a comedian, you get whatever's coming to you. I don't care if you fucking storm out. Alright. This bit, it's a series of tweets I've been doing. So if any of you follow me on Twitter, at Mr. JustinFREAKIN, you might have seen a couple of these. It's called #JustinInfoProbs. That awkward moment when you smack a girl really hard on the ass and then remember she's not the one that likes that. #JustinInfoProbs. That moment when you realize you put the pillow in the wet spot. #JustinInfoProbs. When you spend the night and she wakes you up before you get your full 10.5 hours. #JustinInfoProbs. When a girl texts you and says she's had junk food cravings and you exclaim, but I pulled out! Hashtag JustinFREAKIN. That awkward moment when you realize your dick permanently smells like a vagina. Hashtag JustinFREAKIN. Every time you get razor bumps, it's a new STD scare. Hashtag JustinFREAKIN. I like it hot, sloppy, and raw. Hashtag brownie batter. I don't really make brownies, I just heat up brownie batter. I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret. One of the reasons why I have so many hashtags JustinFREAKIN is brownies. I'll call a girl up, I'll be like, hey, you wanna come over and hang out after you get off work? She's like, no, I'm not feeling very well. I think I'm just gonna go home and rest. And I'm like, oh yeah? I made brownies. I'll be over in a little while. Give bitches brownies. Bitches love brownies. Alright, I wanted to prove to you guys, I don't just make sex jokes and jokes about drugs and stuff. I am a brilliant man, and I'm going to prove it to you right here and now. This is one of the best ideas I've ever had. Why the fuck do we have speed limits? Why don't we just have cars that can't go faster than 65? Hear me out here. They do it in NASCAR. They put a restrictor plate on the manifold that restricts the intake in. Stops the car from going a certain speed. You can put it on all your commercial vehicles. You leave it off of your emergency vehicles, your cop cars, your ambulances, fire trucks, and such. Everybody be going 65. You can do away with speed limits on state and interstate highways. You keep them on city and county roads for obvious reasons. Think about the money I just saved the court system. What's the #1 traffic violation go through the courts? It's speeding. Think about all the administrative costs I just saved the court system from having to adjudicate those issues. Think about the enforcement it takes, putting up all those signs, having radars. We could take the cops away from having to stop speeders and have them do like real crime, like Wall Street or something. And check it out, I looked it up. Excessive speed plays a role in 1/3 of all fatal traffic accidents. I just saved 1/3 of your fucking lives. Somebody make me president, please.
I vote.
Thank you. I guess it's a good time for me to stop here and like. People always get really tripped out when I tell them I like NASCAR. Like I made the reference to the restrictor plate. They're like, you don't look like somebody who likes NASCAR. I'm like, why? I'm a stoner. It's shiny things going fast.
And crashes.
So I'm gonna pause here and say that I'm a pro-marijuana advocate. I believe it is up to intelligent, articulate individuals such as myself to come forward and show that you can live a happy, healthy, productive life while under the intoxication of marijuana with zero detrimental side effects. What was I talking about again? Oh yeah, I love pot, shit. I have this shirt that says high as fuck. And I wore it into the administration building at my college one time. And this woman looked at me and she said, I am offended by your shirt. I was like, you're offended by my shirt? Really? Really? I'm offended by child sweatshops in Malaysia, sex slavery in Taiwan, apartheid in Israel, genocide in Africa, drug cartels in South America, and wealth inequality here in the US. And you are offended by my shirt? Man, your priorities as a human being suck. I'm gonna leave you guys with this. I'm gonna go back to the sex jokes for a little bit. No, I wanna do a religious joke. I wanna do my favorite religious joke. How about this? Ran into a guy one time. He had a shirt on that said, this shirt is illegal in 52 countries, and it had a giant red cross on it. He's full of shit, it's only 4, I looked it up. No need to aggrandize when you got the truth on your side. Now you might not want to wear it in 52 countries, but that could be because the last time somebody came into their country with a giant red cross on their chest, things didn't go too well for them. It's a Crusades joke. Come on. What? Too fucking soon? Alright, now really, I'll leave you guys with this. Anytime I'm seeing a new girl, I'm always incredibly relieved when she farts first. I'm like, shoo, I can just let it out. I invited a girl over the other day, and she walked in, and she was like, just as soon as she walked through the door, and I'm like, did you just fart? And she was like, yeah, I saw your set. I'm like, fuck yeah, fan! Woo! Thank you guys. I'm Justin Freakin Mullins. At Mr. JustinFREAKIN on Twitter. Where the fuck is Voodoo?
I'm right here. Thank you very much, Justin Freakin Mullins.